Last Wednesday evening, in the heart of Washington, D.C., just 10 minutes from the White House, two young Israeli embassy employees, Yaron Leshinsky and Sarah Milgram, were murdered. Not for their political views, not for their stance on Gaza, not for their opinions on the Israeli government. They were murdered for one reason alone. Someone believed that supporting the Palestinian cause meant killing Jews. Now, as shocking as this terrible act was, it was not a surprise, because this vitriol hatred did not begin that night in Washington. It did not even begin after the October 7 massacre. It began a long time before that. But what October 7 did was unleash it from its shackles, giving permission to so many to spread that hatred everywhere like an uncontrolled wildfire. In major cities around the world, there were, and still are, demonstrations openly shouting genocidal slogans against Israel and the Jewish people. And especially on college campuses, where there'd be calls to globalize the Intifada, a direct call for violence against Jews. Jewish students have been intimidated, harassed, and attacked, both verbally and physically. Now, it's a difficult concept to grasp, but there are people on social media who have openly celebrated the murders of Yaron and Sarah. But again, we should not be surprised, because the same people at these demonstrations have been openly hailing the rapists and killers who kidnapped babies and murdered Holocaust survivors on October 7 as modern-day folk heroes. So it's no wonder that there has been a global rise in anti-Semitism over the last 2 years of about 340%. Some places have been even worse. In Australia, it was 387%, France, 350%, the UK, 450%, and in Canada, over 500%. These numbers are simply staggering. And unfortunately, too many weak governments and people and organizations in positions of influence have allowed this poison to fester and grow. And by refusing to crack down on the perpetrators, this has granted them an almost brazen sense of immunity. Last week, the UN's chief humanitarian officer, Tom Fletcher, irresponsibly claimed that 14,000 babies would die in Gaza in 48 hours if aid did not reach them. It was a lie that was debunked afterwards. But by that stage, it was too late. The message had been spread and the damage had already been done. It is a devastating failure that in our progressive, civilized world, that Jews once again find themselves in the crossroads of a sickness that has plagued the world throughout history. And you know what? It's not even just about Jews, who have always been the canary in the coal mine. It is about an attack on all of us, on all the values that we as a society cherish and hold dear: freedom, decency, and respect. Yaron and Sarah were two young people who had already contributed to the world and were now ready to start their lives together, their hearts full of love. And they were robbed of that future by someone with a heart full of hate.